And thank you to Bird and Beckett for arranging for this show, and thank you all for coming on such a gorgeous day when you probably want to be outside playing in the sun. So it's great to see you all. Some of you are friends of mine, and some of you are new friends, and I'm happy to see you all. My name is Michael Oliver-Goodwin. This is my new book about New Orleans. It's called Heaven Before I Die, A Journey to the Heart of New Orleans. And it's a collection of 30 years of reporting that I've done in New Orleans. Some of it's been published before in places like the Village Voice or Mother Jones, and some of it is new to print. I'm going to read you a few sections from it, but before I do that, this being Bird and Beckett bookstore, and this book being primarily about music, I'm going to start out by letting Danny Bittker play a few notes for us. I'm really proud to have Danny here with me today. He's one of the most important New Orleans, one of the most important Bay Area players, both on a variety of reeds and on steel pan and Caribbean stuff too. He's been a real energy center for so many kinds of important traditional American and West African and Caribbean music that always one of my favorite players. So, Danny, please take the stage, and thank you so much for coming today. I'm going to go down and give you the spotlight. Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. All right, the second line now start. Thank you, man. So, I never know what sections to read. I'm going to read you, I'm going to start out with a couple of short sections from a longer piece about my first Mardi Gras in New Orleans. The title of the longer piece is Throw Me Something, Mister, 25 Hours of Sex, Violence, and Chicken in New Orleans. And these are two sections about the Zulus. So, all right, two short sections. So yes, Mardi Gras in 1978 is not a spectator sport. Photographer Mike Smith is going to chase Mardi Gras Indians with his camera. His daughter Leslie is heading for the French Quarter, where, come nightfall, there will be fist-fucking in the streets and nothing is forbidden, even to 16-year-olds. But filmmaker Les Blank, journalist John Morthland, Maureen Gosling, and I have a commercial to shoot, a Mardi Gras commercial. Dixie Fried Chicken, a popular New Orleans fast food franchise known for its spicy chicken. The word on the street is they soak it overnight in Louisiana hot sauce before frying it, is going national. They need TV spots to project New Orleans' image, and that means Mardi Gras. In addition, they've paid off the king of the Zulus. Zulus and Mardi Gras go a long way back. The Zulus being one of the oldest, biggest, most prestigious, and most middle class of the Mardi Gras societies, and the only big one that's black. Traditionally, Fat Tuesday doesn't start in New Orleans until the Zulu boat lands at dawn and the king and queen, resplendently attired, step onto the foot of Canal Street to lead the Zulu parade to what used to be Congo Square. This year, the Dixie Fried advertising department wants the king to land with a box of their chicken under his arm and a big chicken-eating grin on his face. This will become the opening shot for a series of national TV spots to be produced and directed by local filmmaker Jim Blackburn. The spots will feature happy Mardi Gras celebrants munching Dixie Fried chicken in rapid-cut, half-second close-ups. So last week, Blackburn went to see the Zulu king. "What's in it for the Zulus?" asked the king. "Well, we don't have a big budget," said Blackburn. "Uh-huh," said the king, "and I'm not hungry. But for $500, I could work up an appetite." "How about 300, asked Blackburn. 300, said the king. "Well, for 300, I believe I'll eat some chicken." So theoretically, when the king steps off the boat at dawn today, he'll be packing a box of Dixie Fried chicken. 4 camera crews will be waiting to capture this historic moment, following which crews and chicken teams will disperse through the Mardi Gras crowd to shoot product shots, costumed revelers eating Dixie Fried. The sun is coming up behind the clouds. 3 Blackburn camera crews are shivering under the hard gray sky. The Zulus are moving over the copper-colored water toward the shore, and a long, long freight train is creeping down a track, cutting us off from the dock where we need to be. With the clock running and no end to the train in sight, we grab the equipment and swarm over the slow-rolling freight train onto the dock and right to the edge of the Mississippi River. The Zulu boat has landed. Fat Tuesday is underway, and it's my first Mardi Gras. Here come the Zulus in leopard skins, black afro wigs, grass skirts. Black to begin with, they have painted themselves blacker and outlined their eyes and lips in white, like darkies in a minstrel show. They step onto the plank, crossing 6 feet of choppy gray water to the dock, cliches coming home to roost. But whose cliches are they? Zulu number 1 is not carrying a Dixie Fried box. Neither is Zulu number 2. Meanwhile, a bunch of Zulus are jiving around on the deck of the boat, passing bottles from hand to hand. A cold wind is blowing off the river. Now a slightly better class of Zulus appears at the head of the gangplank, adding shiny gold vests and white gloves to the skins and skirts. But still, there is no chicken in sight, and the Dixie Fried camera crews are getting nervous. At last, the king of the Zulus steps from a doorway on deck. He's crowned, sceptered, dignified, and completely without chicken. It's a double cross. Suddenly, as if by white man's magic, Blackburn materializes at the head of the gangplank with a box of Dixie fried chicken and shoves it into the hands of the Zulu king. The king avoids his glance, pushes the chicken away, looks straight ahead, and steps onto the gangplank. Blackburn elbows his way into the crowd on the gangplank and sticks the box to the king a second time, yelling something in his ear. The king gives him a dirty look, but this time he takes the box. Now his expression is that of a man holding a giant dog turd. Blackburn steps back, the cameras roll, and for exactly 1/2 second, everything is perfect. Suddenly, the king, the Zulu right behind the king, spots the box of chicken, grabs it angrily, and throws it off the gangplank into the Mississippi. The king steps onto the ground, followed and quickly surrounded by a crowd of furious Zulus. The Zulu queen looks on, serene and unruffled in a shimmering full-length evening gown. It looks like the king is about to earn his $300 by getting his ass kicked. Les Blank, whose passion for good food may even surpass his passion for traditional music, turns off his camera. "Good for him," he whispers. "I'm glad he threw it in the river." But 10 minutes later, the entire Blank camera crew is eating Dixie fried chicken. Even less. It's cruelly cold on the waterfront, and the hot fried chicken warms the hands as well as providing a good greasy feeling in the stomach. "I'm extremely fond of chicken," notes Les, polishing off a wing. "Anyway, I respect their gimmick of adding spices and hot pepper. Pass another drumstick." Well, that was 1978. Now we fast forward about 30 years to May 7th, 2006. May 7th, 2000, this is called Hold to God's Unchanging Hand. That's quite short. May 7th, 2006 was the last Sunday of the first Jazz Fest since Katrina. Crowds were pretty good. Lots of music fans found a way to get down for Jazz Fest, partly as a sign of respect and support for our struggling city. Despite a dark, threatening sky, we headed out to the fairgrounds shortly after noon. I found a space in the mid-distance around the Acura stage to catch Irma, Paul Simon, and Fats Domino. I rarely bother with that huge crowded stage, but today's lineup seemed worth it. Unfortunately, Fats never showed up, and neither Irma nor Paul Simon were that great. But hey, that's Jazz Fest. As the afternoon moved toward its conclusion, I found myself thinking that I hadn't set foot inside the gospel tent, once my favorite festival hang. So Anne-Marie and I hiked over there, arriving just in time for the last act, a local choir with the unlikely name of the Watson Memorial Teaching Ministries. They turned out to be a powerhouse 25-voice choir with a 6-piece backing band and a 3-person lead by Dad, Mom, and Junior. They tore the place apart with their first 2 numbers. Then Dad took the pulpit and delivered a touching prayer for all those who went down in the flood, and all those who were still scattered around the country, and all those who were still fussing with their insurance companies, and all those whose houses were full of mold and funk. And it was just the right touch, at just the right time. I found myself crying, and I cried right through the next 3 or 4 numbers. Every gospel group you hear always says, "This isn't just gospel music, folks, we're going to have church today." But this time, it really was church, and I felt moved to my soul. I think everyone in New Orleans right now has too much emotion inside them and no way to let it out.